Shalom. I'm Rabbi Nathan Davidovich, speaking to you on behalf of webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. I hope that everybody had a very meaningful Yom Kippur, and I wish all that are listening a very happy, healthy, productive, meaningful year. Yom Kippur is followed in just a few days by the holiday of Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot starts Sunday night. Sukkot is referred to in the Torah as Zman Simchatenu, the time of our joy, the season of our joy. There are a number of questions that I want to discuss very briefly. First of all, we're commanded that every one of the commandments that we fulfill, every mitzvah that we fulfill, has to be done with joy. What's so special that Sukkot alone, of all the holidays, is referred to as the holiday of joy? Second, what is the significance of Sukkot coming right after Yom Kippur? We just finished Yom Kippur last night, and Sukkot starts Sunday night. And then we know that anger is not permitted in the sukkah. We know that because in order to have simcha, to have true simcha, true joy, you have to be able to transcend all of the things that are keeping you from reaching higher heights. Not only the materialistic things that keep you tied to the ground, but enmity, hatred between one and another. And Sukkot helps us and tells us that we have to be united, we have to have love for our neighbor. In fact, one of the principles of Sukkot is the Arba Minim, the four different things that are held together. We have the lulav, the etrog, the hadas. We have the four different things: the myrtle, the willow, the eruv, the willow, and the lulavs. All of those together, many interpretations, but we hold them together, and they symbolize the different kinds of Jew. There may be a Jew who is Torah observant, there may be one who is not Torah observant, there may be one who does mitzvos but doesn't study Torah, one who studies Torah doesn't do mitzvos. Sukkot teaches we have to be all together. The Nativot Shalom refers to our sitting in the sukkah as sitting b'tzeil d'menusa, sitting under the shade of God, because we're in these temporary huts, and we're all equal in that we all leave our homes. All Jews leave their homes to go into these temporary huts for the 8 days of Sukkot. The Nativot Shalom says the reason we can reach this level of simcha, of joy that isn't present in any other mitzvah, is because we have come through Yom Kippur, where the Torah says, Ki b'yom hazeh yechapra aleichem v'tahir eschem. On this day of Yom Kippur, I will give you atonement, I will forgive your sins, and I will make you pure. I will bring you purity. It's the state of purity that allows us to go into Sukkot. The state of purity means a heart that is not full of any hatred towards any other person. We all know that animals can smell certain aspects of a person. They can smell if you're afraid of them. But they can do more than that. And there's an interesting story that Rabbi Shlomo Karbach told that demonstrates the importance of loving everybody, loving every Jew as we go into the sukkah, getting rid of the hatred in your heart. And this story that I'm going to relate to you indicates the degree of love that must be in your heart and the degree of absence of hate that must be in your heart. And here's the story. He tells the story of Rabbi Kozmir, who found himself in the middle of a forest with a number of his Hasidim, and all of a sudden a bunch of wolves started coming towards them. And the Hasidim were frightened, and what did Rabbi do? He bared open his shirt, tore his shirt open, bared his bare chest, and ran towards the wolves. And the first wolf sees him coming, and he stops, and he comes up to him, and he smells his chest. And then the wolf lies down at his feet and starts licking his feet. And the other wolves run away. The Hasidim ask him, what happened? Why did this happen to you? And he says, it's nothing miraculous about it. The wolf came to me and smelled my heart. He could smell that I had no hatred for anybody in my heart. My heart was clear of hatred. But he says, that's just one part of the story. That's nothing significant. That's nothing so special. But really, my father-in-law, who was Reb Meir Malek, now he had an unbelievable thing happen to him. He's walking with another person in the forest, and a wild boar comes charging at him. And without hesitation, Reb Meir Malek runs towards the boar. And he says to him, do you know who I come from? Do you know who my ancestors were? I come from Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Who do you come from? The wild boar hears this, sees this, and he lies down in embarrassment, and he dies of embarrassment. The point of this story is we have to have such a clear heart, free of hatred. I unfortunately see hatred in too many places. I'm hoping that this hatred will leave now that we're done with Sukkot, and it will be replaced by love. There should be no room in your heart for hatred, only for love. Your heart has room for only one strong emotion at a time. You can't have hatred and love together. So I'm asking everybody, all of us, as we go into Sukkot, to celebrate this Zman Simchatenu, to have this great time of joy, that we recognize that we could only have joy if there is love between us. So therefore, if you have not gotten rid of any hatred, any dislike, any grudges that you hold against somebody that you had before Yom Kippur, if they're still with you, get rid of them before you go into the Sukkah. Because you cannot have hatred, you cannot have anger in the Sukkah, only true joy. This is the happiest of the Jewish holidays, and it is that for a reason. We're also, at the same time, we're happy because God has given us the bounty of all that we have, and we're thankful. This is the harvest time. We're harvesting some of our crops. So this is a time that we are certainly grateful to God. We have to be grateful to God for everything that He gives to us. Everything that God gives to us is in itself a miracle, and for which we must always be happy and give thanks. Thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. I wish everybody, first of all, a Shabbat Shalom, and next, a Chag Sameach, a happy holiday of Sukkot. And as you sit in the shade of the Sukkah, remember to sit there with love towards every human being.